Hello, I'm Kevin Cook, Director of Communications with the City of Lakeland, and this is your April 6th City Commission agenda at a glance. We have what's called an agenda study on Friday, April 3rd. It starts at 8:30 in the morning. I want to let everyone know, due to the coronavirus, City Hall is closed, but you can view that at LakelandGov.net. Also, if you're a Spectrum customer, you can watch that on channel 643. And if you have FiOS, it will be channel 43. Again, want everyone to be safe, practice hand washing and hygiene, and keep those social distances going. So we have a public hearing, and a public hearing is something it's called second reading, and that's when we have a second reading and the commission votes on it. So on the April 6th agenda, we have no ordinances for second reading. Resolutions do not require a vote, and they're brought before the City Commission. And there's one resolution on the agenda that adopts the state housing initiatives for local housing assistance. This is a state program where doc stamps on real estate sales are collected and they're shared, and the state requires that we provide a strategy in the way we plan to use those for affordable housing projects. Under the city manager's portion of the agenda, he has 4 items. 1 and 2 regard a lease agreement with NOAA. We know we have our hurricane hunters at Lakeland Linder International Airport. One is they're going to expand space, so that's item 1. So they're really looking at expanding operations and bringing more individuals and additional 2 planes to Lakeland Linder International Airport. So number 1 is the lease agreement for that space. Number 2 is register construction, and it's a recommendation to name them to build out the new facility. Again, it'll house 50 to 75 people and 2 planes. The overall project is going to cost about $12.3 million. So big things happening out the airport. Item 3 is a recommendation to award Rummel, Klepper, and Call, LLP, for construction and engineering services at North Wabash Avenue, and that's the North Wabash Avenue Extension project. So the cost of this is $549,000, and estimated construction is 365 days, so 1 year, and that's for the North Wabash Extension project. You can go to lakelandgov.net/agendas and really look at the detail for this if you'd like. Item 4 is a recommendation to accept mid-year table of organization modifications and appropriations. So throughout the year, city departments make changes, and we do a mid-year change, and it's really more housekeeping than anything. That's what item 4 is. So city attorney has an ordinance for first reading under his portion of the agenda, and ordinances must be read once during a city commission meeting before a meeting at which the ordinance will be voted on. So during a meeting, you'll have ordinances for first reading. 2 weeks later, during the regular city commission meeting, they'll have the second reading, and that's when the city commission votes. So under the city attorney's portion for ordinances first reading, we have 1 item, and it's an ordinance relating to a zoning change to allow it's at 1.7 acres at 2111 Lakeland Hills Boulevard, and the Planning and Zoning Board approved this zoning change on March 17th, and it's changing from a low impact office to pedestrian commercial, so low grade commercial. That's the 1 item. There is a resolution underneath the city attorney's portion of the agenda. Item 1 is the lot clearing and cleaning. We have individuals that may have hardship and grass grows and they may have junk in their yard, and we go clean that up, and then we propose fines and liens against their property for this, and this is the reading of that. Item 2 is agreement to accept surplus land from Florida Department of Transportation at the corner of Sloan Avenue and George Jenkins Boulevards. Now, there is 6 miscellaneous reports, so pull up a chair, get a drink, get ready. Item 1 is a piggyback agreement in the amount of $688,000 with Instituform Technologies, and what they do sewer linings. So the city of Daytona Beach already has a contract, and the state allows you to do piggyback contracts, and that's what we're doing to allow us to go in and repair some of our sewer lines without digging everything up. You do this liner that goes inside the sewer line. So it really, it sounds like a lot of money, but it saves the taxpayers a great deal more because we're able to keep those sewer lines and we don't have to dig them up. Item 2 is a task authorization for $157,000 with Chastain Skillman. What they're going to do is they're going to look at our wastewater system and they're going to test the output and test our water conductivity. So that's kind of a big deal. Item 3 is with Rafdell. Oh, I can't even say it. Rafdellis Financial Consultants of Maitland, Florida. And what they're going to do is they're going to do an analysis on our impact fee studies. Item 4 is a task authorization with Florida Acquisition and Appraisal to look at our Lake Parker Tributary Swamp project. Item 5 is the 6th Amendment to purchase and sale agreement between the City of Lakeland and the Lake Wire Development Company. That is basically Bonnet Springs Park. So they're looking at a sales agreement between the City of Lakeland and that development group as they work on their large park plan. And item 6 is the extension of our declaration of our local state emergency. So what we do is when we have something like the coronavirus or a hurricane, we call a local state of emergency in case we may need to make really quick decisions that don't go before the city commission. It gives the city manager authority. So every 7 days we have to extend it. So that's what this is. Under the utility portion of the agenda, we have a resolution to establish a fuel charge. We don't know if that's going to go up or down. The utility committee will discuss it and the city commission will vote on it. And whatever happens with that fuel charge, it's effective May 1, 2020. And they've got 3 miscellaneous reports. I want to remind everyone again, due to the coronavirus, City Hall is closed. You can watch the agenda study live on LakelandGov.net. It's also broadcast on Spectrum 643, FiOS 43, and as always, stay safe, help your neighbor, practice your social distancing, wash your hands, and remember, the governor put out an executive order, and it's really closing everything except for essential businesses and activities, and you can see that full list, the way it's interpreted from us and given to us from the Governor's Communications Office. It follows the same guidelines from the Department of Homeland Security, but you can see that at LakelandGov.net/essential business. Again, LakelandGov.net/essential business. Stay safe.